Good day, friends. This is Demola Awoyele, welcoming you to another life-changing episode of Leaders Arise. Always a joy and pleasure engaging you on this platform, and thank you for always being a part of my world. I hope you have been tremendously blessed over time with this life-changing discussion on life and leadership. I hope today's episode of Leaders Arise would also be a blessing to you. Today, I want to wrap up my discussion on the power of decisions by teaching you or exposing you to guidelines for making destiny decisions. Because you might have been wondering that I've spoken a lot about destiny decisions and the need to make such decisions. I've also taken time to outline those decisions that are very critical to your destiny that you have got to pay attention to. And you might have been wondering, how do I go about it? What you have shared with me over time has been very insightful, very instructive, but how do I go about it? Never worry, that's the business of today's episode of Leaders Arise, giving you some guidelines for making destiny decisions. By the way, I've written a book on this life-changing topic on making destiny decisions. You may want to check the advert that has been scrolled on your screen, or you may want to go to destinyimpactchurch.org and get to our online shop and purchase for yourself an e-copy of that book, Making Destiny Decisions. That will help you for further study on this all-important discussion on the power of decisions. But it suffices for us today to quickly discuss the guidelines for making destiny decisions. What are those guidelines? What are those tips that can help you to make destiny decisions? Number one is to understand your destiny. You cannot decide for destiny until you understand your destiny. Perhaps the reason why quite a number of people are not making critical decisions about their destiny is because they are ignorant or clueless about their destiny. I'll give you a quick example. In the book of Genesis, the story told us or tells us about Jacob and Esau. One made a decision to buy the future, the other made a decision to sell the future. You can remember the story very vividly. Esau sold his birthright. In this context, he sold his future. Jacob bought it. Do you know the determining factor for that sale and that purchase? Jacob understood his destiny, that he was supposed to perpetuate the Abrahamic lineage. But Esau was clueless about his destiny, so he never made the decision that will help him to fulfill that destiny. No wonder Hebrews chapter 12 tells us that we must not be a profane person like Esau, who for a morsel of bread sold his birthright. A profane person is that person that does not have value for spiritual things. It is that person that treats only things with disdain. It is that person that treats sacred things secularly. It is that person that does not count the destiny that he has weighty enough as to pay the required price to fulfill that destiny. And that is typical of Esau. The Bible called him a profane person, the person that trivialized or trivializes something weighty, something glorious, and treat it as common. And that is why if you want to make destiny decision, you have got to understand your destiny. You have got to understand the purpose of God for your life. You have got to understand the weight of the greatness of the destiny that God has planned for you. And that is what will become your guideline or your motivation to fulfill or to make decisions that will help you fulfill that destiny. I believe that was what helped Daniel. Daniel knew that there was a destiny hanging upon his life for going to Babylon. Babylon was not just a place for him to suffer, it was a place for him to rise into stardom. And for him to rise into stardom, he must not do what everybody is doing. The fact that everybody is doing it does not mean it is right. So understanding your destiny will help you to make the decisions that will help you fulfill that destiny. Another very important story is the story of Esther in Esther 4. Esther before then never understood the weight of his destiny until Mordecai told him, don't keep quiet at this time. He said, you have come to the kingdom for such a time as this. You are a destiny on two legs. And when Esther understood that destiny, he made the decision to go the long haul, to go and approach the king and make a request for her people because she understood the weight of her destiny. Dear young lady, do you understand your destiny? Do you know what God is trying to make of your life? Dear young man, do you understand the weight of God's purpose for your life? Because until you understand your destiny, you won't or you can't make the decisions that will guarantee the fulfillment of that destiny. And that's the first thing I want to teach us concerning the guidelines to making destiny decisions. You must understand the weight of your destiny. You must understand what your destiny is, as that will become the motivation for making decisions that will guarantee the fulfillment of that destiny. For example, as a young man, you might be working in a company and your friends are squandering their salary. They are buying new set of clothing. They are going to nightclubs. They are spending hugely, all right, because they felt the salary we are collecting is big enough for us to squander. But you know what God has told you concerning your tomorrow. You know how God has told you that He want to make you a business tycoon or a financier of His kingdom, or He want to make a great man out of you. Because you understand that destiny, you can make decisions never to squander your salary the same way your friends are squandering theirs. So understanding your destiny is critical to making decisions that will help you to make that destiny become a real. Number 2 guideline is to let you know that destiny fulfillment comes at a cost. Yes, destiny is not cheap. Like I wrote in my devotional some couple of days ago, about a week ago or thereabout, that destiny is not noodles. We know noodles, within 5 minutes or so, you are finished cooking noodles and you are finished eating it. But destiny is not noodles. It costs. Because the reason why some people are failing in making the right decision is that nobody taught them that destiny requires a price. In fact, destiny is a prize with a price. Destiny is a prize with a price. But until you understand that it comes with a price, you would not make the decision to fulfill it. Because some people want to work on the zone of comfort. If it is not comfortable or convenient, they won't do it. Because the decisions that will guarantee your tomorrow, they will actually bring some discomfort. But somebody needs to tell you the way I'm telling you today, that destiny is not cheap. It actually comes with a price. So when you understand that it comes with a price, you are going to be well equipped to pay that price and never to coast along the comfort zone or the coasting zone. But you will go on the challenge zone like Esther in Esther 4:14 that said, if I perish, I perish. That's the second guideline, to understand that destiny has a price to pay. And you're making up your mind to pay that price will sure prepare you to make the right decision that will guarantee the fulfillment of that destiny. Now, the third point I want to share with you is that in making destiny decision number 3, you need to constantly ask yourself, how does God feels about this decision? Listen to me. We don't make decisions based on how we feel. We make decisions based on how God feels. 2 Corinthians 5:7, it says we walk by faith and not by feeling. That's my version. Actually, it says we walk by faith and not by sight. So I can say we walk by faith and not by the senses. We walk by faith, not by our feeling. So in making decisions, don't consider how you feel. Consider how God feels. For example, in that Genesis story of Jacob and Esau, Jacob was feeling hungry. As a young man, you can feel like having sex. But the question is, how does God feel? As a young lady, you can feel like having sex, kissing that boy. But how does God feel? As a pastor, you can feel like squandering church money to live the biggest of life. But ask yourself, how does God feel? When we are patient enough to constantly ask ourselves, how does God feels as we make decisions concerning our destiny, it will help us to make the right decision. How does God feels? Not how do I feel. You might feel okay about it, but does God feel okay about it? People around you might feel okay about it, but does God feel okay about it? I will tell you a quick story in Matthew 26, precisely verse 39. A point came in the destiny of Jesus that he never felt like going to the cross. In fact, he felt like boycotting the cross. And all of us, we always feel like that at one point or the other, that you won't feel like going to class. You won't feel like paying some prices. You won't feel like walking the road that God wants you to walk. But remember to always ask yourself, how does God feel? So Jesus in Matthew 26:39, I guess, Jesus said, Lord, if it were possible, let this cup pass over me, because I don't feel like drinking this cup. I don't feel like going through the cross. But he now paused for a moment. He said, nevertheless, not as I will, but as you will. So at every juncture of your life, you must always ask yourself, how does God feel? What is the will of God for me on this matter, concerning this job, concerning this choice of location, concerning this choice of who to marry? I love this guy. I love this girl. I feel like marrying him. I feel like marrying her. But always remember to cross-check with God and ask God, God, how do you feel? And once you can decode or sense how God feels, I encourage you further to ensure that you honor and respect the feeling and the choice of God. Because once you put God first in your decision, you can't be the last in life. And that's the third point you have got to note about guidelines in making destiny decisions. Always ask yourself, how does God feel? What does God want for me to do now? It's not about how I feel. It's not about what I want. It's not about how people feel or what people feel. It's about what God wants and how God feels. Number 4, I have just 2 more to give you. Surround yourself with destiny-minded friends and company. The truth of the matter is, all of us, we need one form of encouragement or the other to make decisions that will help us fulfill our destiny. God forbid, when you need that encouragement, you don't have such. God forbid that when you are supposed to make decisions that will make you fulfill your destiny, you are surrounding yourself with people who are not destiny-minded. Those who are looking at today and not tomorrow. Those who are looking at temporary gain rather than permanent or future gain. So you need a destiny company to make a destiny decision. Never forget that. You need a destiny company to make a destiny decision. No wonder in Daniel never joked with Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego. He always went along with them because he needed them to make the decision that will guarantee his destiny. Esther needed a Mordecai in his life that would help him to make the right decision. Even Jesus, and in Matthew 26, didn't go to the cross alone or to get him alone. He asked Peter, James, and John to go with him because he needed a company that would cushion the effect of the pain, a company that would supply him perspective, a company that would supply him the motivation that he needed to make the right decision. So let me ask you, year 2021 is fast going out or fast moving. Do you have destiny company that will help you to make destiny decision? And don't wait until the time you need to make decision before you start looking for such company. Start building such companies today before the time of decision. Because when you wait till the time of decision, it is already late at that time. When you wait till the time of decision, it is already late at that time. So you always make sure that you carry the right people along with you on the journey of destiny, so that when you are supposed to make that kind of decision, you will have enough positive-minded people, destiny-conscious people around you that will give you perspective, give you encouragement, and of course, help you to make the right decision. The final point before I round up today is that you need this last guideline to make the right decision in destiny. You need to go for counsels. You need to go for the right counsels. There will always be a point in your life that you don't know where to turn, you don't know which way to go. It feels like you should not pursue destiny. It feels like you should feed on the king's meal as Daniel. It feels as though you should not go to the cross as Jesus. It feels as though you should not walk to the palace of the king as an Esther. It feels as though you should sleep with a young man, sleep with a young lady as a boy, as a man. It feels like not relocating to where God wants you to go. It feels like not paying the price you need to pay for destiny. You need to go for counsel, the right counsel at that time. That is not the time to shut down the voice of counsel. The Bible said in the multitude of counsel, there is safety. Don't be the kind of person that is always making mistake before you go for counsel. There are some people like, it's when they have made the mistake, they now say, sir, I just want to tell you, I have done this, I have done that. Why not go for the right counsel before you make that mistake? And you need counsels in your life, and you need counselors in your life. And like I said previously, don't wait till you need counsel before you gather counselors. You must always have people around you that you can leverage their wisdom, you can pick their brain, borrow their idea before the time of decision. That's the place of mentors, that's the place of pastors, that's the place of covenant friends, and those who have gone ahead of you, particularly those who have a sense of your destiny, because these are people that will be able to guide you correctly in making the right decision. The final point as I round up, prayerfully consider the decision. You need prayer in making destiny decisions. You need prayer to strengthen you in your work, in your faith work, strengthen your heart, give you motivation, courage. You need prayer to strengthen your resolve. You need prayer to help you beat down the voices of fears, doubt, antagonism, mockery, and all of that. So pray very well before you make destiny decisions. It's not about who to marry. Pray very well. It's not about the choice of location, choice of local church, choice of a mentor and what have you. Make sure you pray very well, because prayer will help you to see what God is saying, help you to see the decision in the light of eternity. Then prayer will strengthen your heart, grant you boldness to make that decision. I hope you have been blessed by today's episode of Leaders Arise. This is the last episode on our ongoing series on the power of decision. You may want to visit our archives to get yourself on board with all we have been discussing so far in this episode or in this series, so that you can be able to get proper balance and perspective in this discussion on making this destiny decision. In case you have questions, you have comments, you have areas you want me to shed more light on, feel free to get back to me. Till I meet with you again on the next episode of Leaders Arise. Help me share this stream all across the social media platform, and we look forward to having another wonderful time together on Leaders Arise. Once again, thank you for your time. God bless you.